Hi, my name is Dave and I love to talk about the best music and albums from the 60s onwards to newbies and devotees alike. And in this video I'm looking at the new offering from the Rolling Stones, who've just released their 24th UK and 26th US album. More of that in a minute, but first, if you would like to know when new videos are released, please click the subscribe button. I grew up with the Rolling Stones. In fairness, probably most of the population can state that same claim, but they were always the one band who seemed to carry off that naughty boy characteristic to the absolute max. The old adage, publicity, good or bad, is the stuff that legends are made of. So this may explain why a proper new Stones album has dropped in October 2023. Whether it is viewed as good or bad, the publicity is always a welcome byproduct. And after so long, I bet the lads don't give the proverbial flying. Well, you know what I mean. In Hackney Diamonds, though, there is an album that I reckon they should be pleased about. Now, for full disclosure, I'm going to do this review as if I were doing a reaction, as I am playing each track for the first time, and then I'll be giving you my thoughts on it. Feel free to add your comments as you wish, good or bad, but a polite request to keep them clean. That said, let's begin. So track one is Angry, and I've heard this one before. This was the track that producer Andrew Watt first gave us to look at. It's been out a couple of months now. The newly booted and suited Stones works and doesn't make them look or sound ridiculous. It's a typical, well to me anyway, track from the band where Mick's got his problem with his girl, things ain't going well, etc, etc. That telltale Stones groove is there and I feel comfy, and this album could well be okay, you know. Now track 2 is Get Close, and now I'm in uncharted waters. It seems Elton is playing piano on this one, and the lyrics indicate I'm looking to buy drugs from an unknown source Jagger is desperately looking for. The verses are great, the chorus though is banal. The instrumental section is well wicked. I love the bongos and I'm always a sucker for a sax solo. Track 3 has Depending on You, that is a slower number focusing more on the words this time. We get a nice slide guitar in the instrumental break. Jagger's vocals feel a little bit forced in trying to paint a tale of a relationship going wrong. This is the first track I'd readily pass on. Track 4 is Bite My Head Off, and this adds more rock and roll royalty with Paul McCartney playing the bass on this one. Now, it grabs your attention straight away as Jagger chants the title out and the band activate this catchy hook. The McCartney bass dominates this track. It's big and bold, distorted, and it's just a joy. The lead guitar section is that classic sound you'd expect from the band, and it's a fun, enjoyable track, even though some of the rhymes sound a bit contrived. We'll forgive them that. Track 5 is Whole Wide World, and this pans out as a straight rock and roll track without any bells or whistles, but that does not mean it lacks anything. Far from it, really. As the title suggests, it's about being up against it. This is a very decent track. Track 6 is Dreamy Skies, at the halfway point of the album, and so far I've really enjoyed what I've heard. Dreamy Skies puts a stop to all that though. It's one of those typical Stones country and western songs they insisted on doing. The song truly drags. I'm sure it should have been called Break Away From It All, as that gets repeated over and over again. That said, Mick plays a decent harmonica, but this is the first absolute dud for me. Track 7 is Mess It Up, and this features one of 2 2019 recorded tracks that the late great Charlie Watts played on. Whilst Steve Jones plays excellent drums elsewhere on the album, you can hear the difference in the drumming styles, and it does sound more like a Stones track as Watts caresses the kit in a much more identifiable manner. This is an okay song, but it's got another bad chorus that has Jagger's whine on top of a low register version propping up the melody. Track 8 is Live by the Sword. This is the second of the Charlie Watts tracks, and also features Bill Wyman, of all people, playing bass. Does that make it a full original Stones lineup? As well as Elton on the Ivories once more. It reminds me of It's Only Rock and Roll and the verses before the snarling Jagger vocals deliver that chorus. There's a rather curious sounding middle section that is quickly over before some vintage Richards lead that seems to have been missing so far on the album. I really like this one. God bless you, Charlie. Track 9 is Driving Me Too Hard, and this one is a bit nondescript, sounding ever so slightly like Tumbling Dice to me. It's another one that perhaps is quickly forgotten. Track 10 is Tell Me Straight. It's the Keith Richards track he always gets on each album. He sounds on form like everyone else has been on this record though. The premise is simple. Ask a question or make a statement and answer it with the song title. It's reminiscent of Who Can It Be Now from Men at Work, but it's a good track. Track 11 is Sweet Sounds of Heaven, which is making all the noise and grabbing the attention from the State of My X feed. It has guests Lady Gaga and Stevie Wonder on board, so it really couldn't possibly fail. It's a swelling, honky-tonk gospel monster. Wonder is playing piano, Gaga is on backing vocals. It's my favourite from the album by a long shot. I could listen to this all night, I really could. Track 12 is Rolling Stone Blues. It's a simple arrangement of this classic Muddy Waters track to finish the album, and this is the one from whence they got their name. Now, this is a really good album and a complete surprise to me. I had a copy of Some Girls back in the day that I liked, and some of their classic songs were favourites back in the day. The Jagger voice remains a powerful tool. The Richards and Woods guitars were in tune and sharp. The Watts drums were a delight. The McCartney bass a surprise. All in all, I enjoyed it. Is it possibly the end? Is this their swan song? Well, not according to Ronnie Wood, who has insisted that there is already another album's worth in the can. We shall see. So there you are. These are my thoughts on Hackney Diamonds, the new album from the Rolling Stones. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, press the like button. And to purchase the album or support the channel in other different ways, check the details in the description section. On screen now is a link I did to a review of a Paul McCartney and Wings classic album, Band on the Run. I know you're going to enjoy that one. Other than that, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.